from 0 to 6 figures.
So my first year of revenue, I did only 16 grand.
This amazing accountant went from having a tiny business to actually getting that 100K that she dreamed of. What you're about to see is the emotional turmoil that business owners often suffer.
So I am working 50 to 60 hours a week.
How do we heal that?
You swap 560 for 6 grand, you have 10x your investment.
And get people in a place where not only do they get their business working for them, but they get their life working for them.
In Bali, I want a video of you on the beach saying, Adam, I'm now closing these deals.
I can't wait to show you in this Business Growth Secrets audit.
Give us a hug, you're all done.
Thank you so much. So I'm Nick, also known as the Ginger Accountant. I founded an accounting firm back in 2023 as I had come out of a real struggle in the job I was in. So we're now nearly 2 years in. So yeah, that's Ginger Books. That's my little logo. Very proud of it.
Tell everybody that's watching and listening what are the services you're doing so they've got some context.
So we offer services to small businesses predominantly, for women founders and young creatives. What that services looks like is bookkeeping on a different scale. It can either be done with you or done for you. We also do compliance elements. So you've got your annual tax returns, you've got your corporation tax, your limited company accounts, everything that is sorted and dealt with HMRC. But then the higher end of the scope is we have advisory work where we look at management accounts, budgets, forecasts, and a little bit of a fractional CFO work as well.
Tell us where you are now. What does the business look like? What's the performance like?
So my first year of revenue, I did only 16 grand. Nothing, to be honest, when you really think about it in your first year. But now for my year to date, which is 5 months, I've done 40 grand with a projected forecast with all signed retainers up until the end of December for £112,000. So it's been some pretty cool growth over the last year, and that's definitely credit for working with yourselves over the last 8 months too.
What's been some of the things that you think have helped you, just to share for someone listening that could help them?
I think the first thing was the foundations. I didn't know who I was targeting at the time, where I was finding them. I was just sort of doing what I thought I should be doing, going to face-to-face networking and going, I want to work with service-based businesses. Like, who the hell are them? Anyone? Now I'm very clear on who it is that I want to work with.
Where do we want to go? That's where we are now.
Yeah.
Where do we actually want to be?
So next 12 months, I want to minimally be hitting 30K consistent months. So again, I want to 3x the business really as to where it is now over the next 12 months. But with that, I need to build out a team because I definitely feel like I am at my maximum capacity at the moment, not just with client work, but with building up the brand, other things that I've got going on. For example, the last 2 weeks, I've been out of the business on different things with speaking and coming down to different events. I've just been everywhere, so I've not been able to really sit behind the desk and deliver. I do have 2 freelancers working with me at the moment, but I want it to be an in-house team. And my big goal for this year has been building out my personal brand, which is going slowly, but it's going.
We want to put some measurables. The revenue is measurable. And usually when, we've done quite a few of these audits now, and it's really important that we are able to actually measure what success looks like. And the more that you can measure it, the easier it is to create it. So anyone that's sitting there and, watching along, if we say that I want to build my personal brand, how do we know in a year's time whether we've actually built our personal brand? Is it a feeling? The problem is you can't measure feelings. And the reason you can't measure feelings is because 1 minute you might feel it, the next minute you might not. So you might go in and go, yeah, I feel like I'm making progress. My brand is bigger. And then tomorrow you go, oh, I feel a bit down today. I don't really feel like I've got a good brand. And all of a sudden you're never actually satisfied with what you're doing. So what we want to do is we want to make it measurable. You'll understand this as an accountant. So we say, did we hit it? Did we not hit it? Were we on track? Were we not on track? So I'd like to put measurables to brand and team. If you had a magic wand and you waved it over the business in 12 months' time, what would your personal brand look like? What would make you go, yes, I've done it. I feel great about my brand. What would you be happy? Let's start on brand, then we'll go to team.
Currently as you said, on Instagram, that is my main source of where I go and find clients. It's at 300 followers just over. I want that to be at 10,000. It's vanity, but I know what comes with that sort of margin. There's a bigger opportunity to get more brand deals because that's what I want to be able to do. I want to work with different brands in promoting their services, especially within the accounting space. So I know having a good following is going to attract them brand deals too. I want to be award winning. At the moment, I am award winning, but I want to be multiple award winnings, and I want to be nominated for a minimum of 5 awards over the next 12 months.
How many brand deals do you want to sign?
Oh, it's a great question. I would love to do at least 2 a month.
How does that line up with your revenue?
Well, that's going to be separate from Ginger Books. I'm going to set up my own Ginger accountant company where I'm going to run the personal brand through.
And what would be your motivation behind keeping it separate?
It's just me that's doing that work. That is my dividend that I'm taking out. Whereas the Ginger Books, that's money that's coming in, that 30k a month, pays team.
Okay, so the personal brand has a business attached to it.
Yeah.
So how much money do you want that personal brand to build over the course of the year?
100k minimum a year.
Okay, so you want 100k personal brand business, and then you want 300k in your accountancy business. Okay, fine.
Big targets.
Now it's measurable. In terms of the team, 1 year from now, what do you want that team to look like?
This is what I'm struggling with because it's a bit of a blocker for me. I've got a bit of a problem with releasing control properly.
You're not the first person that will have that problem.
If I'm being realistic, if I'm looking at who I've got at the moment, so they're bookkeeper and accountant, I want that to be replaced as an in-house team, so one of each. And I would love to have an apprentice come in as well.
Great. So we've got a good idea and very detailed on the targets. They're now measurable. Tell me what you perceive the challenges to be. What are the things that have stopped you from getting to this? Why are you not there already?
So balancing my vision with my capacity. As I said, I'm very not busy being busy, but I am around a lot of the country at the moment, doing different things with different people. And I find that I do everything throughout the day in terms of client meetings, team meetings, going to different events, and then actual deliverable of work I'm spending my evenings doing. So I am working a lot of hours at the moment. Minimum, I would say 50 to 60 hours a week. I know that in order to get them higher revenue targets, I need to stop selling just one-to-one. So it needs to be a one-to-many to be able to fill that through. So at the moment, I'm doing some speaking, as I mentioned, but in terms of actual demo of power and doing webinars that is one-to-many, I'm not doing that, which I know I need to be doing. But again, it's a time thing, which comes with the capacity.
Both of those are self-aware. So it's having a good self-awareness, which, by the way, having a good self-awareness is very important in business because a lot of people don't have a self-awareness. They just get the day-to-day floods over them. They don't really understand how to manage it. Being aware of what it is you're doing, how it is you're doing it, very, very important. The one I would question is actually the middle one. You have an accountancy business. Mm-hmm. Why is converting one to many one of the things that you've put as down as a super important thing for you?
Because I think it feeds into the personal brand element as well. So there is a getting on stage and speaking. I want to be able to do that and convert people on a stage. But as I said, webinars, I do think that is a very good demo of power to get people on and into the programs or the packages that I've got.
You know, when you look at what you want to achieve, £360,000 worth of revenue, a team and a brand business, why is this like the thing that you've picked? You picked 3 things, 2 of which I think are right, very, very important. This one, I'm just like, could you not achieve the revenue of 360 without making that step?
The time that I've got available to speak to people just on a one-to-one basis, I'd rather be able to sell one-to-many, so it's just an hour rather than a couple of hours of time. Because at the moment, my sales process, just so you know what it looks like, they get an initial 15-minute consultation, and that is a debrief just over the phone. They book in, that's a point of inquiry. That's what, sort of the qualifying process that we go from. From there, it's then if they are a good fit, it's a 45-minute Zoom Teams call, and that's when we dive deeper into the business and actually present the offer and close the deal there and then. If I want to grow very quickly, there's a lot of hours that has to go into that, rather if we strip it back and do one-to-many, I know I've got more qualified leads because they know, trust me.
One-to-many is an option, but also outsourcing sales.
Okay.
Is an option, but we'll look at that. Okay, I think that let's just have a quick recap, and then we're going to start to dive into the plan. First of all, we've got a business here that we want to take from £112,000 in projected revenue to £360,000. So we have got some growth in that. We're looking to treble this business over the course of the next year. We're looking to bring the team in-house so we can improve the quality and get things done in a more efficient way. And then at the same time, we're looking to build a personal brand which runs alongside the business and actually adds £100,000 £1,000 worth of revenue in as well. So we've got some big, bold ambitions and some big goals. So I'm really excited. We're going to build your plan out, Nicole. Does that sound good?
Sounds great to
So
me.
we're going to get the flip chart. We're going to get there. You're going to come and sit here.
Okay.
And then I'm going to come up there and I'm going to start building out your plan to get you everything you want out of this business and more. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
So what we've established from talking with Nicole is exactly where she is right now, exactly where she wants to be, and what challenges have been identified. So we're now going to start to look at these two things. So first of all, we've got the targets. So one of the target is, how do I get the business to 30,000 per month in revenue? And where the business is at right now is 112. So we've got some increased revenue to find. How do we go from having an outsourced team to actually building an in-house team? And finally, how do we get the brand operating where we're doing £10,000 per month? So we identified that the challenges to doing these three things were vision versus capacity. So essentially, Nicole has been very, very self-aware, and she sort of said, well, look, I've got big dreams, big vision, big ambition of what I want to do, but I've also got very little time. And I haven't got that many people to help me who haven't got time either. So I've got an issue with vision versus capacity. She's dwelling on, do I need a webinar? Do I need to start doing one-to-many? Do I need to do these different things to build my personal brand? And I've seen this many, 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 many times with business owners who get themselves into a position where they feel like they're being pulled from pillar to post, especially when a business actually has started to have a little bit of success. Because at the beginning, you're just doing anything to get going, and then you have some success, and you're just like, oh, like I've got so many opportunities. I could do a podcast. I could do a webinar. I could get on stages. I could go and do this and do this and do that. And all of a sudden, we're like, oh my God, where am I going? So you get all this confusion coming. So we've got to deal with that too. And then finally, it's like, I've got all this stuff to do. I've got all this ambition. I've got all this vision. I want to do all this stuff. Like, how do I get it all done? Because I just can't do it all on my own. So is that sort of sums up where we're at, Nicole, yeah?
Pretty much.
Yeah. Okay, great. So we've got to start to deal with these problems. And the way that I like to do this is I want to link the problems directly to the targets, okay? So when we see these targets here, the revenue of your 30K per month, which of these three are stopping you from getting there? So the vision versus capability, the delegate is definitely linked to this first one, where the one-to-many perhaps is. So we've got definitely a direct link there. We've got the team link and we've got the brand link. So now we know this is where I want to be. Good job with the challenges. Let's start to break them down. So the way that we first look at anything is we look at the revenue, and the way to do this for you're watching as a business owner, listening along, and you can tell us in the comments the big insights that you get, which would be really cool to hear. But you always want to look at the past and realise that success leaves clues. Now, the cool thing is, Nicole, you're an accountant. You know success leaves clues because as an accountant, you always look into the past to dictate the future because the numbers tell you what's happened, correct?
Yep.
Yeah,
Very
so
true.
they tell us the story. So what I need to understand is the story of the 112. So tell me the story. How did we go from a 16K a year business to a £112,000 a year business? What were the big moves that were made in order to make that happen?
First thing I did was change up the sales process itself. So originally it was a form. Now it's me proactively going out to them and having that phone call with them and getting them on a proper call.
Okay.
Getting very clear on what my offer was. So that baby fawn plus fawn doe book is staggered at different investment levels from 157 a month to 2997 a month. January was bigger clients, and that come from me just actually being present and showing up more and being consistent.
So just give me the breakdown. How many clients?
66
What's the average sale?
per month, or
Yeah, go per month.
the
contract.
average is 557 per month.
So £557
Yeah.
per month. So we've got 66 clients paying us £557 per month. Okay?
Yeah.
And what has been the origination of those 66 clients? So where did they come from?
So very early on in my journey, I did a lot of face-to-face networking. So
Okay.
some of them came from that.
Yep.
But since September, which has been the start of the surge, it's all social media.
Okay.
So LinkedIn and Instagram.
Okay. So
be
how many clients have come from LinkedIn? How many have come from Instagram?
From LinkedIn, 10 clients have
Yep.
come. And from Instagram, I've had 30 clients come.
Okay, so 30 from Instagram, 10 from LinkedIn. Okay, so what is it you've been doing on Instagram that's been working?
Well, to start off with, it was my Ginger Books page, really pushing out of that. But since setting up the Ginger Accountant in the last 4 months, I've actually took on 12 of them 30. So the personal brand element has helped me get the more clients in.
Okay, right. So how much is it worth to you when you sign a client? So is each client, the average, you're saying is 557 per month. You've got some delivery costs. From a revenue perspective, is each client worth around 6,000 per year?
Yeah, about that.
Okay, so 6,000. So we're saying 6K a year roughly, the client is worth to you. How much are you spending on marketing? Because at the minute, it sounds like you're investing time here, not investing money.
No, I'm not spending anything on paid ads.
So
I've not spent anything.
We've got 0 on paid ads, so this is all organic at the minute.
Yeah.
Okay, why have you currently spent 0 on paid ads as it stands?
I don't want to part with the money. That's my accountant that's coming in.
You don't want to part with the money.
Yeah.
Okay, if you were able to pay £150 to get a client to give you £6,000, how do you feel about it then?
I know the logic of it makes sense, but I think actually it's more than, if I dive deeper, it's not just the parting of the money, it's the building of the funnel. Then we go down the marketing route of building the funnel, knowing what to delegate, and then we get onto that part of
So
the
we've got
challenge.
fear.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's not just the money.
It's
Because
not.
you understand the logic of the money. So it's the fear, it's the skills.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And also it's just outside your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Because you haven't done it before, right?
Yep.
So what I'm going to do in a moment is I'm going to show Nicole how to very quickly go and sign new clients, get this business to £300,000 in revenue. And I'm going to do it in a way that's so simple that she will be able to do it despite being fearful, despite not necessarily having the skills for paid ads or marketing. I'm going to give her the simplest, easiest, fastest way that she can go and drive new clients into the business. Because what I've discovered through this process is that if each client is worth £6,000 to the business, we just need to go and buy these clients. Okay, because, well, you told me your challenge was this. I've got a big vision, but I've got very little capacity. And the reason being is you invest time, you don't invest money. And there comes a point in every business person's career where investing time becomes like unsustainable because you don't have any time left. Plus you want to go on holiday, you want to enjoy yourself, so you can't do it. You can't be on holiday, be in Bali on the beach, whilst also being at the BNI meeting or being at the FSB or the Chamber of Commerce. It don't fly. So you've got to find a different way to create success. Will we agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, great. So this is the first thing that we're going to do. Our solution to the rev is we need your businesses at the stage where we need to start using ads. I'll give you a dive into this in a moment, and we're going to pay with our money rather than our time. That's going to help us grow. I'm going to show you how to start small, how to build this up and get great results. Team, this being the next stage, right? You've got 2 people executing the work right now, okay? So they're doing the work, but you also told me that you're staying up late at night. So who's doing it? Are you doing it or are they doing it?
So at the moment, I have them 2 team members doing more of the low level of stuff. So the bookkeeping, the VAT returns, stuff like that. The advisory, where it's the management accounts, people that want more of that higher end, so the higher end clients, that's directly with me.
Why is it so important for you to bring this team from outsourced to in-house?
For multiple reasons. I want to give back to the economy and to England and to our workforce in here. There's an ethical part of offshoring to like the Philippines or India. I know that many people do, but for me, I just ethically can't get on board too much with that. I think it aligns them really with my brand. I'm more of a proactive, personable accountant that you can get hold of me often. It's how I want to build it. I don't want them to be a once a year accountant. I want to be an accountant that is with you through your journey of business every single month or quarter at least. Bringing it in-house, I'm able to deliver that operational excellence better.
At the moment, the way your business is set up, you're the spokesperson, you're the person What you need to do is you need to just send the work down to other people to do the work, right? You don't want them to speak to your customers. You don't want to speak to your clients. This is the truth. Your client doesn't care who's inputting as long as the inputting's done. What they want is they're paying you for the brain. They're paying for you for your intelligence. And the other thing is, I understand what you're saying about the ethics. I understand the British workforce, and I understand that. And do you know what? If you was a £500 million company, I'd 100% be like, yeah, 100%. That would make a huge difference to the economy. But the fact is, the business is doing less than 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
Well, it's doing 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
That isn't making any difference to the economy.
Yeah, very true.
So you're talking about sending £1,000 or £2,000 out to other countries rather than this country. When your business is in a position to be able to invest in people in this country, then absolutely do it. But also understand that your business is very early and what you're doing is smart. Because right now, if you hire this person in-house, you've got PAYE, you've got NI, you've got pension contributions, you've got all of the different taxes and elements and employment law. And by the way, when you talk about the ethics, this has all been set up. Right? All of this is in place. There's nothing wrong with what you're doing. Using freelancers and outsourcing is not unethical.
Yeah, definitely. I'm thinking more like offshoring outside of the country. But I would happily bring more freelancers in. But then because I'm an accountant, I know all these laws, I'm then thinking about IR35.
Right. Okay.
So there's some legislation stuff around it too.
Okay, absolutely. I think as you grow, but in the short term, I just don't see, like your business going from 100 to 300, I would suggest maybe you bring in one person within the business. I don't think you want to build this massive team. Let's imagine that your situation is this. I'll show you in a minute about ads. You start running ads into your business. You get a ton more inquiries. So now you've got more inquiries. You've got more in the top of funnel. Let's imagine you've got 5 new inquiries a week. So you're getting on a call with the people. You're closing the deal. You're setting up the deal. And now you've got 5 new inquiries. Let's say you've got a new client coming in per week. You've got 52 new clients a year for your business, which is going to get you to your 30K a month plus. That's what you've got coming into the business. Who do you need to oversee and deliver excellence within the business at that stage?
So I think in terms of the inquiry top of funnel stage, I definitely need someone on admin, because I'm doing all of that admin contract work at the moment, sending the contracts out, doing all of the client onboarding. I need someone to do that because that in itself is taking up time.
Okay.
So that is part of the time element too. So I think whether that's out freelance or in-house, definitely someone doing the admin.
All right. So you're saying admin.
Yeah.
And this is the thing though, right? Are you familiar with my Audit concept?
No.
No, you're not. Okay, cool. So I have a training called Audit, okay, which is training, outsourcing, automation, delegation, and discipline.
Okay.
We have to choose which one we're going to use wisely. But the admin is something that potentially there's got to be a degree of automation that can be built in. Not necessarily a person for admin. Right, you need a contract sent out, that needs to be signed. You need KYC for the people, then you send these different bits
AML,
back. Yeah, AML. So you need all this stuff. Well, surely that can actually, I don't necessarily think you need a person for that. I think you need to set up automation for that.
Yeah.
Because this and automation for an accounting business is easy to do.
Yes.
There'll be a model. I don't think you need a person.
Okay.
So who else might you need in order to do that?
In order to
Now, you imagine you're in a situation, you're now running ads. So what you're doing here is you're seeing me literally move through the future. We've got ads running to the business, got new inquiries, we've got clients coming into the business. And now what I'm doing is I'm moving from top of funnel. Nick is basically, there's 4 things. So let's break this down for everyone watching. You'll understand this because you've been in our gold circle for quite some time. The first thing is you need to build brand, right? So building brand and a strong halo effect gets you known. After that, we need inquiry flow. That's top of funnel. I'm going to talk with Nick about that in a moment. From top of funnel, we need sales process. Nick's doing that. She's selling. She loves it. No problem. Now we have hub, which is the operations of the business and how we manage the operations. Essentially, you get these 4 steps right. You get the flow right in a business. So what we're looking at here now is the hub. You've got the workflow coming through. You've got the ads. You've got the marketing. You've sold them. They're now coming in. The paperwork's now automated. What needs to happen to make sure that work gets delivered and it's done well?
I need an accountant.
Okay, fine. So that's where we've got there, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Right, no, it's fine. But what I'm saying is sometimes it takes people a while to come up with this, but we now know that we need an accountant. And how much would an accountant free you up?
Oh, loads.
How much does an accountant cost?
Typically around 35 to 40.
All right, so
average.
35. So the hire that you want in the business is going to be an accountant to do the delivery of the work. Okay? We'll cover this bit in just a minute. Let's go to the brand piece, which is the next piece. So let's have a look at this brand piece. You say you want 10K a month, right? You've got this great business that's being developed here. This is going to be a very simple, very replicable business that we're going to set up. Tell me how you see this brand piece. Like, what do you want to be happening here? What does this look like to you?
That to me looks like speaking on stages, which I have been doing, but I want to build that up even more. And that also looks like collaboration with brands, specifically within the accounting space.
Okay, so brands in the accounting space, yeah? Okay, so where does the 10K a month come from?
So that comes from charging for the speaking, and that also comes from the brand deals, from the growing, the halo effects as you mentioned, and the brand.
Yeah, you're not really going to get paid 10 grand a month for speaking at this stage.
No, of course
right?
not.
And it's kind of like, obviously that's possible, but it takes time to get to that stage. So your brand deals are going to be more likely to be able to build you to that level. But I still have this question, is why is this revenue not going into this business? Why can't this just be included? Because basically you go and speak on a stage next week, you're going to talk about your business, people are going to inquire, you're going to pass on those deals, they're going to get done, accountant's going to get it all sorted. That's where the money's going. Why does this need to be separate?
It can go into it, but I'm just thinking more tax savings. I'm thinking about if I'm bringing in 100K through that brand, through, let's say, the Ginger Accountant Limited, for example, I could take out 60 grand out of that completely tax-free just for pension contributions. So it's just a tax efficiency element, the reason why I want it separate.
Long term, I see this being, a different play. But over the next year, most of the income that's generated here is you speak on a stage,
Yeah.
people say, I like you, I want to do business with you, then they come over to this business. That's typically where the money is.
That's true.
Is that not the case?
Yeah, it's definitely the case.
So really, we want to just focus on this revenue in the short term, and then in the longer term, we can build this brand up alongside. I think you'll be building it anyway, but I just think the distribution of revenue. So I understand Nicole's thinking here, especially around the pension contributions, but I know as a business owner that when you have one focus, it really allows you to drive and keep hammering that nail home. And it just makes everything so much easier. When you have multi-focuses, what tends to happen, even if you just split these into two different businesses, this one's doing a little bit of revenue, this one's doing a little bit of revenue, it's like this, and then eventually one of them's going to go anyway. That's the truth. Like, I've been in this situation. I've done exactly what you're doing. I've done it many, many times in the past. And I just know that you're better off just building one great business, and then that's your business. And later on, because this is the thing, you talked about it. You said vision versus reality. You was like, look, vision versus capacity. The truth is, your vision is bigger. Your vision of what you can be is way bigger than what you currently are. And there's nothing wrong with that, because I respect the vision. But a minute, you're not going to get these big deals and these big brand deals. That doesn't mean you shouldn't speak on stage. You should speak on stage, because you're going to get deals here. Does that make sense?
It does.
Let's say that we get a brand deal, and this can be part of the goal, but I think that the personal branding is going to help you create the revenue, right?
Yep.
So you can say, all right, we're going to build a £400,000 business rather than a £300,000 business. It's the same goal, but then you're just applying the same thing. Because you know what? Otherwise, you're going to be beating yourself up. You're going, why am I not getting paid to speak on stage? Why am I not getting this? Why am I not getting that? Don't split your focus. Keep one focus. You'll get the result, right? That's personally what I would do. And then when you're big enough that NatWest or Santander or someone wants to come and they want to say, look, we want to pay you £5,000 a month, then put that in a separate company. And when that moment happens, that's there, when you sign a brand deal. But at the moment, I think my focus will be on revenue generation.
Yeah.
Is that fair?
That is more than fair.
Yeah, okay, great. So finally, ads.
I'm excited for this bit.
Right, so look, we've got 66 clients. We've got that 6K as an average, right? So this is how you're like, I don't know if I want to do ads because I'm afraid. I don't know if I want to spend the money. I don't know if I've got the skills. It's a bit outside my comfort zone. I've never done this stuff before. This is really difficult. So what do? This is how simple it is. We've got meta ads. Very, very simple. Use your personal brand because you're happy and you're fun and people are going to want to do business with you anyway. We've already got proof and evidence of that because we've seen that exactly that happening again and again and again on Instagram. So you're good on camera, you're good, even when you come up and you presented here, you're confident, you're doing a great job. So all of this is going to work fine, right? But instead of us doing a complex, lengthy funnel, instead of all this stuff, I just want to keep it simple, super simple. I want to run some test ads, right? And these ads, we do a few variations. So this is a breakdown. We make 5 different video ads. Who's the target market? You said you know that?
Women founders.
Calling out women founders. This is going to be so easy, right? And the reason it's going to be so easy is because Nicole knows the answer to that question, right? So women founders, video ads, we're going to do 5 of them, not 1, because 1 can bomb, 2 can bomb, 3 can bomb, 4 can bomb. You got 5, one of them's going to be all right. We're going to run these different video ads. We're going to start small, and we just start off with, depending on what the affordability is, I will tell you more, start with £20 a day, all right? But if you want to do less, you can do £10 a day. But if you do £10 a day, you'll only be buying 500 eyeballs, right? If you do £20 a day, you'd be buying 1,000 eyeballs. If you're buying 1,000 eyeballs, you're much more likely to get leads every day, okay? Which I'd like you to do. I'd like you to get leads every day. So you buy 1,000 eyeballs for 20 quid. I would start off and I would just do Facebook lead forms. You're so early, you don't need to go out with complex funnels at the minute. You just run Facebook lead form ads. You need to call them the minute they come in, and you need to set up a booked call. And you set up a booked call. This is going to cost you about £10 a lead. So let's imagine that you have 1 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, 1 on Wednesday, 1 on Thursday, 1 on Friday, and Monday, because you've got some of the weekend ones, you've got a couple more to go back to, right? So because you've got £10 a lead, so 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. And let's say 3 of these get onto book calls. Out of these 3 book calls, 1 of them is a sale. That means you do 1 deal a week. Making sense so far?
Yep.
So 1 deal a week is worth 6,000 to the business. And all you do, same as you would, run the ad, get them onto a book call, do 1 deal a week. And what you got on this basis, you're only spending £10 a day because I've said 1. If you spend £20 a day, you get 2. So we'll say £20 a day because that'd be easier. That means you're spending £140 a week. Now, over the course of let's say 2 weeks, 280, right? So you've got another 2 weeks, 280, right? So we've got literally 560, yeah? So we've got a £560 investment, okay? And that's a 4-week timeline. So you run these for 4 weeks, you spend 560 quid. Our minimum aim is 1 deal. You swap 1 deal, 560 for 6 grand. You have 10x you've 10x your investment. Your ROAS is 10 times. All you got to do is do that once. You'll have the belief, you'll have the skill, and these are the steps. 5 video ads, small spend a day, £20, this period of time, 10 times revenue, sign your first client, then repeat, then repeat, then repeat, then repeat, then repeat. Guess what? We didn't need to do a webinar. We didn't need to do one to many. We didn't need to mess around. We just go out and set a model and sign clients.
Thank you. I needed that.
Well, it's just going to be much, much easier. You've got a good who, you've got a good target market. These are the simple steps. This is just for everyone watching. This is all Nicole needs to do. First of all, look, there's a lot of writing here, right? First and foremost, we are going to run ads. And we are going to get a consistent model running 4 ads. We are going to do 5 creative, 5 video ads. We're going to run them on lead forms. We're going to get them on the call. And when we get them on the call, we're then going to book them to another call as soon as possible. On that call that we book them to, we're going to be attempting to close 1 per week. Investment of £140 per week. We're going to give ourselves a 4-week timeline to judge the performance of the ads. The ads are super simple to set up. We're going to go into Ads Manager on Meta. We're going to do a Facebook lead form ad and literally just go and run that and generate those leads. What we're then going to do is we're going to close that business. You're going to have to grind and do all the work in addition to the clients that you've got until we start to get a steady flow. You start getting 1 client in a week, we're going to be in an amazing position, and then we can go and hire that person to do all the work. So this gives you your answer to what you delegate. The thing you delegate is not the sales and marketing. The thing you delegate is the key punching and the work. You do the ad, you then do the closings, then you pass that business over to a professional and you'll be on track, right? By the way, when you're running ads with your face on it, your brand's just growing all the time anyway, because more people are getting to know you and you're getting thousands and thousands and thousands of people that see your ads. Where we want to get to is we want to get to doing 4 of them a month, right?
Yeah.
So 4 £6,000 deals gives us our 24K, right, over the course of a month, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Now that, over the course of the 12 months, is 240, 260, 280, 284 in revenue, plus what you've already got, which equals your goal of getting the 30K per month plus. Done. Good?
You're a magician.
Do you like that, yeah?
I love that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Buzzing.
okay.
Go back
That's
and
what you've got
do
to do. Do you understand it?
I completely understand it.
Do you get it?
Yeah, I get the maths behind it as well.
Are you going to do it?
I am going to do it.
And when are you going to do it?
Over the weekend.
Okay, so you're going to do it straight away,
Yeah.
right? And then in Bali, I want a video of you on the beach saying, Adam, I did exactly what you said you was going to do. I'm now closing these deals. Obviously, get the business to those numbers. When you do, you hit the 300. Let's get you back on stage, get your next award. Give us a hug. You're all done.
Oh, thank you so much.